Good evening, everyone. This is Team Async Working to demonstrate our project. In the project in advance, I have a sore throat, so hence my voice might be not clear. Sorry about that. Well, let's get to the point. Before starting the demonstration of our project, I'm going to introduce our roster. I'm Lawrence Liao, the team lead, and we also have Lengui Xu, Robert Xu, plus I and Stephen Wang. Without further ado, let's get started. The first section is regarding product vision. I'm about to hand over this stage to my teammate, Lengui.
Thanks for Lawrence. I'm gonna introduce our product vision. Recently, startups are more popular than ever before. Our product, Async Working, is a project management service, especially for small and middle-sized enterprise who wants to increase their productivity at workplace. Unlike Asana, Monday.com, or other project management tools, our product is pretty minimal and light, but it equips with enough features to allow team to work asynchronously and improve efficiency. To be brief, work asynchronously, work efficiently. Next slide. I'd like to move on to the database design part. The database design is a really exciting part to go through at the very beginning, which helps us to mining business demand and also helps to write code in the right direction. For our website user, it can be separated into self-registered user and company-invited user. Users belongs to a company can access to all the projects of this company. We also design two invitation types, setting for different scenarios, including company invitation and project invitation. Okay, next slide. Project functional part show our product highlights. As you can see, the board, the to-do board and the schedule board, these two are related. And the message board is for project global notification, which replace messy email notification, which are easy lost. I mean, employees cannot always find essential information on the mailbox in time. So message board helps. File board is just for project file management. These four functional boards share same features marked in color, as you can see on the picture, and also have their own features and content, such as file upload and draft. Okay, next, Plus will show product demo to us.
Okay, thanks, Lengui, and I will do the demo part for our project. And this is our homepage, registered page, and the first part is about registered. And we divided this part into two scenarios. The first part is the account already exists, and it will show this error information and let the user log in there. And another scenario is the normal one, and this part will check the format as well. It will check the format for email and password like this. If the user do not input the right email format, and it will show this message. And if only the user input the right email format, they can use the next button. And the similar things for the password. The system requires a password which is complex enough. And if the user uses the password too simple, it will show this error message for the user and require the user input the password again. And only if the user input the right password, and the similar things for the confirm password, if the two password is not consistent, and it will show this error information. And by the way, it will check the format both in front end and back end. And this is in order to ensure the robustness of the program. And when all done, the systems will let the users to verify their account, use their email address. Okay, let's come back to the main page. And the next part is about login. We divided this part into two scenarios as well. The first one is not activated account when user use inactivated account to log in. It will show this error information and let the user to verify their account first. And another scenario is when user log in first time. It will show this page. The system will require the user input some initial information like company name and title as well. And then we can go to the dashboard for our project. Okay, let's use this account for test. So this is a dashboard for our project, and the first part is navbar, and the next part is company part, and the third part is project part. Okay, firstly, I will introduce the company part. In this part, when we clicked this card, it will show all the employee list, and it will show all the employee in this company right now. And there is the add people button here, and when this button is still in developing, and this can invite people into this company by send an email. And there is a three-dot button here, and if we click this function, this button, we will be redirected to this page. And it will require the user edit their company name and description. For example, the company name. It will show the default company information at the first place, and the name is required. So if the user let this part empty, it will show this information. And if the user change the information here, it will show it will change the company name as well in this part, in this dashboard. And the next part is project part, and all the project part will be sorted by alphabet order, and all card will be sorted in the center as well. And there is a button in the left corner. If I click this one, I can add a new project card. And this name of the project is also required. If I didn't input anything here, it will show this arrow animation. Okay, this almost all the part for our function right now, and we will finish our function in the future, such as to-do list, upload files, and schedule function, and so on. And next part I want to show you guys is about test part. When we create a pull request and require some reviews from our team members, and the author will provide a Postman mock service like this service link, and which can make test and review easily. And this part is for our backend, and we can import to the Postman, and we can find all the latest APIs to test, and it can be make the test easily and separately. And the similar things for front end, we need provide a JSON server in stock for others for a test like this. I will run this locally. Like this, the mock API is running and JSON server is running. And this is our this is running in the local host, and we used the test account to test our interface and page. And we can see that all the information in this page is being mocked by the others, and it can be easily for others to test. Okay, that's almost all the things we need in this part, and I will handle the next part for Steven.
Thanks, Plus. Now I will talk about front-end structure of this project. This project is the front-end of structure of this project is based on React.js with TypeScript templates. We use TSX files for all the components. As for CSS part, we use Sass and Material UI for most of the components and also the styling. As for form components, we use Formic and Yump for form and also the validation. As for the API handle, we use Exos to handle all the APIs, and all the APIs will be stored in the API utils.ts file. Also, we use React routers for all the interactions among different pages and sections components. As for tests, we use Jest to build up all the test files, and also for React router, we use Exam to test the router. And JSON server is a very powerful function, as mentioned by Plus. It allows our fellow developers to test our project without using the backend code. We also applied Husky hooks, which involving pre-commit, also pre-push events. As for pre-commit, we will start our ESLint scripts to check all styles and grammar of all the files. Also for pre-push, we'll run the tests before each developer pushed their code to the GitHub. We use ESLint and editor config to check all the styles of code. Next, thank you. Now I'll talk about the backend structure of this project. The backend is based on Spring Boot with Java EE. The tech stack including Spring Boot. Also, we use Spring Security for handling all the APIs and related security issues. Also, we use Spring Data GPA to write some queries to get the data we want from the database to finish some of the features. We use Flyway to handle database migration. Also, Docker and PostgreSQL has been applied to this project backend. Lombok is a very powerful function plugin. Sorry, we use Lombok to handle all the data and related variables. As for test of the backend, we use JUnit to write all the test classes and methods. We use Mockito and mock MVC for mocking the related layers we want for test. Next, our team leader Lawrence will talk about the AWS API.
Very appreciated Steven's effort, and thanks for having me back. In this part, what I'm gonna do is to elaborate our cloud deployment. This is an overview of our deployment. We deployed the application onto Amazon Web Services platform. The front end is in S3 bucket that is public. The backend is deployed in ECS and database is in RDS. Both are in a private VPC respectively and connecting with each other via VPC peering connection. Generally speaking, users visit the website through domain name located in route 53. And as for the CloudFront, it's for speeding up the distribution of static and dynamic web content, such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and image files. And in terms of the application load balancer, it aims to adjust the load for each server. And in the next two slides, I'm going to show you how we did deploy our both front-end and back-end specific. Please jump to next slide. Having a glance at this picture, which describes the deployment of front-end. As I just said, the front-end application is deployed in S3 bucket. Once you push your code to GitHub, then code build will be triggered. As you can see, there's a screenshot of build spec.yaml. We build code on the Node.js 12 runtime environment with the command yam build. Then the file generated will be stored in /build directory. After that, AWS code pipeline will copy all the files into S3 bucket, which has the same name as our domain. Please shifting to next slide. This one is primarily for backend deployment. Similarly, as soon as you push your commits to GitHub, the code builder is triggered. There are two pictures. The first one is build specs.yaml. As we can see, there are three phases. On pre-build stage, we will log into the ECR and define like image name, repository UI, etc. Then get into next phase build. Since we are building a Docker image, then put it in ECS. We also need a Docker file as the second screenshot shown. Build with Java 11, copy the app.jar file and set up the entry point. Then let's back to the first image. Build phase with we'll build a Docker image according to the Docker file below. And the last phase is the post build. The Docker image just built will be pushed to ECR, and then image definition JSON file, including the information of the Docker image, will be generated. Finally, AWS code pipeline put the Docker image into AWS Fargate. And after that, the process of backend deployment completes. Okay, that's everything for the cloud deployment so far. Next topic will be a workflow presented by Rob. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for Lawrence. So our team used the Agile module, one sprint cover for 2 weeks. The first week is planning meeting. Everyone will source the story point of the new card. The content of each card will not exceed 5 points. If it exceeds, it will be splitted. This is to ensure that the content in the card is not too much. The second way is for ritual meeting. We'll review the good things and bad things done every week and solve some of the problems raised by team member. After submitting a pull request each time, 2 or more people are required to review and approve before they can merge into the main branch. After merger, we'll conduct a test. And if there's a problem, we'll ask the person in charge of this card to modify it again. At the end, our business analyst will conduct a UAT test. Only one test passed, the card is considered completed. In the code review, we will check the code format, such as the naming and argument, and at some time, we will allow using multiple if-else block. The code must ensure sufficient readability, testability, comfortability, and reusability. When we write code, we'll also follow the sorting principle, especially the single principle, because this can enhance the reusability of the code. In the code refactoring and GitHub flow, we also made some mistakes before, which created some troubles. For example, someone did not merge the update code of the main branch in time. When writing code, she also refactored others when writing his own function. This will cause a lot of trouble when dealing with conflicts. So when refactoring, you should ensure that your code is up to date and to ensure that your own functions are completed. Then you can carry out a reasonable refactoring. Next slide. Through this series process, we have learned about the correct code review process workflow, knowing how to do front-end and back-end testing, how to deploy application to AWS, and have also improved our code capability in various debugs. Okay, the above is all the content of today's presentation. Thank you everyone for listening to our presentation today.